So this is probably going to be one of the most important videos I've ever made, okay? I'm going to be talking about something that I really haven't talked about before because I used to be very concerned about the fact that this concept may be too nuanced. But I've had so many people reach out and I've helped so many people recover that it's just so blatantly obvious to talk about this, where I feel like if I wasn't talking about this, I was doing a disservice. So I really want to talk about what holds people back during recovery. Okay, what holds people back from getting better? It's one thing. It really is one thing that holds people back. So I want you to really pay attention, okay, in this video. I want you to watch it. I really want you to understand it. I don't want you to skim through it. If that's the case, I would just recommend just exit now. But I really want you to understand what I'm talking about. It's going to be very nuanced. So I want you to really pay attention, because if you can fix this, oh my God, recovery is yours. It's yours. It's this one thing that holds people back. It's something that even I disregarded for a while, but it's so important. So let's get it started. So look, I'm just gonna get straight into it, okay? Because I think the topic is so important that I feel like there's so many things I wanna say about it. I just wanna get right into it. So what is that one thing? What is the one thing that's holding you back? It's not your symptoms. If you're experiencing dizziness, nausea, vertigo, if you're getting any physical symptom that's been ruled out by your doctor, okay? It's not those. If you're getting intrusive thoughts, you know, they say it's the thoughts that fuels the anxiety. It's not even that. Okay, you may think it's because you're so traumatized or you're experiencing such bad anxiety that you're derealized, depersonalized. It's not that either. Now, before I move forward with it, I want you to think about this. Okay, now if you've been watching my content for a while, if you've been focusing on recovery, if you've been reading Claire Weeks, if you've been reading Paul David, take a second, pause this video and really ask yourself, what is Shaan gonna say? What's holding people back? What holds people back? You know, you may be thinking, oh, is it understanding the mechanics of anxiety, right? Shaan always talks about understanding the mechanics. Oh, is it the solution? Is it being able to deal with setbacks? What are the things? It's none of those, okay? So take a second and really think about this. I don't want you to just get the answer. I want you to really think here, okay? What holds people back is limiting beliefs. It's nuts. I know it's ridiculous because, look, when I was struggling with anxiety, if you told me it was my beliefs that was holding me back, I would laugh. I'm like, come on, are you saying my beliefs are causing these symptoms? Are you saying I'm believing these physical symptoms? Are you saying I'm believing this is happening to me? How can you say that? You don't understand what I'm going through. But the truth is that, you know, I even disregarded it even when I recovered a little bit. When I recovered it, I was like, yeah, inner beliefs definitely plays a part. But as I've helped people recover, I've seen a lot of roadblocks in people's recovery. And I see a lot of people fumble sometimes. I see people go lightning fast and I say, how do they go so fast? What happened? They had this one thing. And then I see some people that are messing up and then we just correct them and then they're back. And then I'm like, how did they recover so fast? Then I see some people that are stuck for a really long time. And I was like, well, what's the pattern here? And it's limiting beliefs. Okay, so now follow me here, okay? Because limiting beliefs sounds ridiculous, but with anxiety, belief structures are a huge part of the journey. It's not like where you get a cold, right? If you get a cold, or let's say you have a sinus infection, okay, and you need antibiotics. Now, whether you believe sinus infections exist or not, it doesn't matter. The antibiotic is gonna work. Does belief structures matter? Not really, right? There is conversations about placebos, but I don't want to get into that and complicate this video because that gets a little bit more nuanced. But the truth is that antibiotics work. That's why they're so effective. That's why they've changed so much quality of life for people, right? But with anxiety, belief structures do matter. And here's the interesting thing. A lot of people's belief structure that holds them back at one point actually served them, right? Let me give you an example. Imagine before you fell into this anxiety cycle, you felt some physical symptoms and you felt off and something was wrong. And you're like, man, something's off. Let me get it checked out. And then you went to your doctor and the doctor said, yep, something's wrong. Take this, this, and this, and you'll be back to living. And that's it. Now you have that belief structure, right? Something's physically wrong, go to the doctor, right? You've developed an internal belief structure. Now, what happens when you're struggling with anxiety? What happens when you get physical symptoms and then you go to the doctor and they disregard you? Now you're thinking, because you have that belief structure, that inner belief structure, well, what happens is you're like, oh, well, the doctor doesn't know. Okay, well, I'm just gonna go look it up myself, or I'm gonna go to another doctor, or I'm gonna keep going to the doctor, or I'm gonna go to alternative doctors. Now what happens? Well, now that inner belief, that physical symptoms means there's something physically wrong, doesn't apply. And now it becomes a limiting factor. Now, if I'm guiding people and their physical symptoms, if they keep believing their physical symptoms is caused by something physical, if they still have that belief structure, recovery won't happen. Recovery won't happen because that inner belief is holding them back. Do you understand that? Do you see that? So you have to understand at a certain point, okay, now this gets really advanced. At a certain point, all belief structures fail. All of them. Because all belief structures they're a map. They're not the terrain. They're not the actual destination. But what I see is that a lot of times people have inner beliefs that hold themselves back. Okay, now another inner belief that somebody may have, that you may have, is I might be the unique person that doesn't come out of this. I feel like I'm the only person that's not gonna be able to recover. I'm just too far gone. My symptoms are too intense. I've struggled for way too long. Now imagine when they're going through the recovery journey. Now imagine as I'm guiding them through the recovery journey and they hit a little hiccup. They have a little setback. Is setbacks bad? Setbacks are part of the recovery journey. But what happens when they slip just a little bit? What happens if they mess up a little bit? Or what happens if it's just part of the journey and they didn't do anything wrong and they still hit a setback? Guess what comes rushing back? Their limiting beliefs. Oh, see, I had a setback. See, that just proves I'm not going to be able to recover. Oh, see, that just proves that, that validates that this is always going to be something I'm struggling with. So do you understand that? Do you see how, in a certain way, these limiting beliefs is what holds people back, and these limiting beliefs become a self-fulfilling prophecy? Now ask yourself where you're doing that on your journey. And it's very difficult for you to be able to see that in your own journey. I always say, I say this to the coaching team, like when we're guiding people to recovery, I say it's very easy for us to see what's going on with the client. It's very easy for us to see where they're messing up. Very easy. In fact, I could even think of clients that can see what other members in the mentorship are doing and be like, oh yeah, this person's doing this wrong. But it's much harder to be able to look at yourself and see where are you going wrong. It's much harder to do that. There's ego involved. There's a lot of things involved. So you may have noticed this not even just with anxiety, but with other things. Have you noticed when you see somebody that's obviously doing something wrong, you're like, yo, like, why is this person doing it? Isn't it so clear? But that person can't see it. And you then have to think, oh, well, is that person just dumb? No. What you have to think about is, oh, if that person's doing it, where am I doing that in my own life? Because I guarantee you're doing it as well. Especially if you're struggling with anxiety, 100%. So it's really important for you to understand how important belief structures are. And it's something I've kind of discounted for a while not because I don't know it's important. I know it's extremely important, but sometimes when people are struggling with anxiety, they get a little bit imaginative. So when I talk about belief structures, it can throw people off, especially if they're doing this on their own and they're kind of new at it. And let's be honest, they don't know what they're doing. And they may not be getting better because they don't know what they're doing, and that's okay. That's fine. This is part of the journey, right? It's about knowing what's happening. That's also why I think finding a guide and having somebody guide you through the process is so important. But when you understand that, then it's really important to see what kind of limiting beliefs do you have? And look, I think everybody has limiting beliefs, even people that don't fall into the anxiety cycle. I don't want you to think that you fell into the cycle because you have certain beliefs and other people don't. I have found everybody has pretty ridiculous belief structures in terms of what they think of themselves, all these different things that hold people back. The only difference is that because your nervous system is sensitized, you changing your belief structure is very important to recover. Other people, their nervous system is strong enough to handle that. But here's the interesting thing. If the people that haven't fallen into the cycle are in a perfect storm of stress, they will fall in the cycle and they will have no choice but to change their belief structures because it's going to be part of the journey. This is why I say recovery isn't just about overcoming these anxiety symptoms. It's actually about becoming a better person. You actually naturally become a more confident, better individual, much better than people that fell in. And don't just take my word for it. Look at recovery stories. I'll put a link down below of people that have recovered. Here's the classic scenario. Shaan, I know you've helped people recover. I know I've seen people recover, but I'm just too bad. Well, you know what happens with those recovery stories that you should check out with the link down below? Well, what they end up saying is, oh yeah, I used to think that, but actually that's not true. I can recover. Oh, I can recover? Anybody can recover, right? And so the idea was that they had some limiting structures, limiting belief structures as well. And we broke through those. We focused on recovery. Guess what happened? Now they're better people. They're in the sense that they're better in the sense that, like, in terms of their character, they're also more empathetic. They are doing bigger things in life. You know, we've had so many members who've become coaches, not just anxiety coaches, fitness coaches, success coaches, all these different things. Other people have decided to commit themselves in other ways to improve quality of life in other people. Things that they would have never done had they not gone through something like this. So just recognize this is one of the most important things, and really recognize where your blind spots are. And sometimes recognizing that belief structures are hard to break through sometimes on your own. And really, like I say, focusing on recovery and recognizing when your belief structures are sabotaging your own recovery. Okay, so that's key. So I really hope this video helped, and we'll wrap it up here. I'll see you in the next one.